Oh, they're more important than clinical skills. If you don't have the right fit for your culture, it is a nightmare. I mean, it can cause such damage within the office and with your clinicians and employees. It's got to be spot on, the right fit. And that's what we focus on, exactly what we focus on. After 24 years, there's horror stories. If you don't have the right fit in there, I've had offices call me in tears like, we just brought somebody in on our own, and my whole staff's about to walk out with mutiny. It's you've got to have the cadence, the personality, that right cultural fit, or it just doesn't work. It's almost every time when we've seen mismatches, it's the office or the office manager or the doctor recruiting on their own. They've got to be a doctor, they've got to run a practice, and then they have time to talk to people that they threw ads out on. And there's no screening, there's no vetting, and they have no idea what is really coming in the door aside from what their resume says, their CV says. Well, how we differentiate that process, we go into depth about, we go visit the practice, we know exactly what the right fit's going to be. And then in terms of screening and vetting our candidates, it's a very in-depth process. References, there's a number of ways to thoroughly screen it. There's a finesse when you've done this for many years to do it the right way, and that's what we do. Again, that goes back to the existing culture of the practice. Each practice is unique in its sense and its culture. That's what we have to go and define as what's going to be the right fit based on that particular organization's culture. So I've got a very big client. He's an oral surgeon in New Jersey. Um, and he is a type A, it's like typical oral surgeons, type A, and this is how he works. But he follows up with every single hygienist, and he's got to follow up, and that's who he is. And you've got to find that exact replicate of the exact thing, and that's what's going to fit with his practice. Other practices, absolutely not, it wouldn't fit. But that happens to be the way that office runs, essentially. It's a very busy, very successful practice, but that's what you need. That's what we've done. Well, with every new client that we take on, my recruiter is going to go out and visit them, and that's critical. You have to do that, because if you don't do that, what you turn into, hey, honey, I got a call from a recruiter. There's an opportunity in Massachusetts for a dentist, as opposed to the other side of the spectrum where we work, where we know everything about the culture, about the community. And that again, that's critical in finding not just the right fit, but in terms of long-term retention purposes. A lot of times they want to come home, born, licensed, trained, or they've got family, or yeah, we're interested, we're pregnant, and they want to start a family. All those things all add up when we're recruiting and placing the right fit. It happened to be this summer, actually, up in New England. We had a practice that they were trying to recruit on their own, and they kept running into, they were finding these people right out of school who wanted this much money and wanted to work that much. And then we weren't working with them yet. And they called me up and they said, guess what? We found our person. We got it. And I said, congratulations. Yeah, good for you. Less than 30 days, they called me back and they said, my entire staff is about to walk. It's time to work with you. And we found somebody 10 days later, the perfect fit. But that's how bad it had gotten for them doing, and they don't know. They're being doctors and they're running offices, but about working with the right firm and having that type of success. You got to work with the right firm. That's what it is. If you go out and do it on your own, you can only put ads out there and talk to your colleagues, and you're only going to really be able to reach that amount of candidates. And then who's going to do the screening, and are you going to have time when you've got patients? Is your VP of ops, you're off? That's when you partner with the right firm. This is what we do 24/7, 365.